What's up, everybody, and welcome to my TNA review. And there's two things that are going to be in this review tonight. First off, will be the TNA review from Thursday, which I have a lot to say about. And then there was something I actually heard, a bit of news that was a bit interesting I wanted to speak on regarding TNA and this whole majority ownership with Billy Corgan trying to buy the company himself. So, first off, I'm going to get to the review, which, once again, we bring back the Hardys. After Delete or Decay, Matt Hardy was at his darkest moments. He didn't know what it was going to do. His entire platoon was nearly destroyed and traumatized, mostly traumatizing Rebecca or Ruby, King Maxa nearly abducted, Brother Nero mutilated, Senor Benjamin kidnapped, and Vanguard 1 was missing. And we must bring the magic back into this house. So he rolled Jeff Hardy into a wheelchair and brought him to some lake of reincarnation after the whole, getting hit with the Janus in the gut. So Matt would ask the 7 deities to regenerate Jeff's wounds, or Brother Nero, that they must take part of the Great War. He pretty much put Jeff in the water and said regenerate, brought him back up, and this time the Jeff Hardy that we brought back was 2010's Immortal Jeff Hardy with the customizable TNA World Heavyweight Championship that was purple at the time with its face on it, and he was holding a cigarette, which, even though he had that horrible match with Sting back then, people say, he went on to say that Jeff Hardy's broken future was inevitable, but he said you can't decay if you're not deceased. So it was kind of cool to bring back the heel Jeff from 2010. I think it was all the way up to 11 or 12, I believe. After the whole bad match with Sting thing because of whatever the hell Jeff Hardy was on that day. But Matt says, no, we cannot have this. So he pretty much put him back in the water, and he brought back Brother Nero, which was Brother Nero, broken or whatever, and he pretty much went on saying his reincarnation has happened, and that decay will pretty much be delete, obsolete, delete, obsolete, delete, obsolete, delete, obsolete. As Matt said, that we must regather the troops then. But first, we must track down Vanguard 1 and find Senor Benjamin. And pretty much after that, Bobby Lashley came out. He cut a promo talking about how he took out EC3 last week. We're pretty much talking to JB about Bound for Glory. We're talking about it's not really going to be a Bound for Glory. Like, nobody can beat him on the roster pretty much. No one can beat him. And he says that, yes, Bound for Glory was nearly ruined, but that's EC3's fault, and that the main event isn't happening. He said, how about you, JB? Why don't you face me? He said, that would be stupid. Because he says, I'm carrying this company on my back right now. And he crushed the hero, he said, until Grado came out. And Lashley wanted pretty much like, why is Grado here? Facing Grado was a bigger joke than facing Borash. Grado says he knew JB for years, and pretty much said that Lashley was the joke. And, I like to have a good time with people and stuff. Said, Lashley, you may be the world champion, but you're a coward of a man. And Lashley said, I'm not a coward, I'm not scared of anybody. And you heard anybody like him as people chanting Grado then. And he says, Lashley, you can be beaten. And pretty much Lashley looked at Grado, hit him in the face, and then speared him, and pretty much laughed. He says, pretty much saying, like, you should learn not to piss me off. I could kill anybody on this entire roster, and nobody in TNA can beat him. Moose came out then, everybody did the Moose arm thing. They pretty much looked at each other and started punching each other in. Moose was able to get the best of Lashley, as Moose pretty much says, I fear no man. And he says he's going to defeat Lashley and whip his ass. And he says, how about tonight we get Bobby Lashley versus Moose, because he wants to fight. As JB also talked about the Grand Championship was happening, as Aaron Rex pretty much was talking about. He talked about the Grand Championship and everything. This is an opportunity he says Drew's opportunity has been handed to him, and he's done nothing now. So, Drew is just a complainer. He says he's going to see him soon in this feud. And, you know, Bobby Lashley, great, good first segment with everything. First off, Matt Hardy bringing back heel Jeff Hardy from 2010. Hell, he brought Joseph Parks back last week. And Bobby Lashley, some people wonder that this is probably the best Bobby Lashley we've seen in years. This man can talk. He is confident. He is a dominant world champion. He is clever. I don't know why he wasn't like this in WWE, who could barely speak on the mic. But you can believe everything Lashley is saying. It's believable. He looks like, well, he pretty much is a guy that can kick your ass anyways. Come on, the guy does MMA too. So, hey, I gotta say, but Bobby Lashley, man, I don't even know if anybody's telling him to say this in the back or he's coming up with his own material. But he's probably one of the best talkers around here right now. Aaron Rex, I'm still trying to get into him, even though he was talking about a worst shoot a few weeks ago. I'm trying to see where this feud with Galloway is going to go. Most likely, the Bound for Glory is going to be him versus Galloway for that Grand Championship. So it is going to be a new champion at Bound for Glory. But it's Aaron Rex went against Trevor Lee, which he was trying to do in a lot of well, I guess we can say Damien Sandow, but the moves with him doing the elbow disdain, but his finisher was pretty much a discus elbow, taking out Trevor Lee. Which Trevor Lee's a really great worker, but some people think Aaron Rex is a copy of Drew Galloway himself, of everything he did. I don't know if he's gonna get. I hope Aaron Rex can get better because he's off to a very slow start right now, and he has some great fire coming into there. A lot of momentum behind it. But now some people look at him as just a generic wrestler when he's not Damien Sandow doing all the stuff. But hopefully he can reinvent himself here in TNA again. Matt Hardy, he searched through the forests of Cameron, North Carolina, found Vanguard 1 and crying as he died. He said, he is dead. Don't do this to me. Somebody was whoever the cameraman was pretty much laughing. It's hard not to laugh. And he asked the 7 deities again to pretty much install the power, essence, and life of Jeff Hardy that was deleted in the Vanguard 1. So I do not know what Matt Hardy is at this point. He brought Vanguard 1 back to life with a memory sequence of him helping Senor Benjamin do the yard and calling him up in Pendejo and playing chess with him. So let's get this straight here. Matt Hardy is now some type of God-like Jesus person or something. He pretty much took the soul of Jeff Hardy after he deleted him and put him in the Vanguard 1. So let's get this straight. I don't know if Jeff Hardy's Jeff Hardy at this point, Brother Nero or whatever, or Jeff Hardy is now in this. His soul is now inside of a drone. So like what? Is Jeff the drone now? Is that how it's gonna go? Like for real? Like where are we going with this? It's so insane. It's just hilarious. Like I said, I'm loving every bit of this whole Brother Nero, but some people think he's broken Jesus now or something. So he pretty much brought Vanguard 1 back to life. Maria and Ali were in the ring as Maria and Ali were in the ring, pretty much talking about Maria thought she was the most dominant knockouts champion in history as people chanted Ali, but she said she's going to give Gail Kim her Bound for Glory Hall of Fame induction early, as it was just a clips of her beating up Gail Kim, and Gail Kim was pissed saying, "Who the hell you think you are?" As pretty much she was going to give her a picture. Ali was going to give Gail Kim a picture, but Gail threw it to the ground. Dixie Carter came out and says, no, it's not going to happen. It's going to be a gauntlet right now. Well, I guess Gail Kim is going to face, she will face Maria at Bound for Glory. So she's coming for that title, and she's going to kick Maria's ass pretty much in the ring. Some of you don't know why Dixie's out there, but I would not think it's going to be a gauntlet up next after that. I got a message, but yeah, that was what's gonna happen after that. So she's gonna kick her ass, even though Gail Kim, I think she already got through that whole battle to face her. So I think they're facing each other for the Knockout Champion, and somehow Ali's gonna get involved one way or another. The empty arena match happened with no turnbuckles. The last time I saw an empty arena match in TNA was with Sting and Kurt Angle, if I'm not mistaken. But Rockstar Spud went against Braxton Sutter, which this match was okay, but no one hasn't really been paying attention to this feud a lot since they've only been doing stuff with the X Division. It's like they just did this match because Braxton Sutter pretty much beat up Spud. I don't know what they're doing with this feud, but they need to make it better. Like, it was still good, but you know, empty arena, but just like it's just some things missing from it. Matt Hardy sent Vanguard 1 to find single Benjamin, and pretty much seeing Benjamin, he looked through the memory banks where he was in a barn as Vanguard 1 had found Benjamin, as Matt Hardy pretty much Matt Hardy came and found him, and decay was painted on his forehead. It says, he told Benjamin, when you must recuperate, you must get the stockade of weapons and bring him to the House of Hardy, because a great war is coming to Bound for Glory. My God, how this is going to be insane. Moose was talking about the challenge he issued to Ashley, saying he was going to beat the crap out of the night. Brother Nero, pretty much the Hardys and Reby were in the ring. They were in the ring, and Matt, pretty much, they in the ring as people chanted obsolete and delete. Brother, everybody was singing it. Matt Hardy says, we survived the apocalyptic war was the final deletion last week. But at Bound for Glory, we are taking those tag team titles, and it will be delete, delete, delete. Decay came out then, talking about we're going to take Maxwell, and you saw what we did to Bram. I don't know what the fuck happened to Bram, to be honest. So, I don't know what ever happened to Bram, as Abyss pretty much walked out, and Crazy Steve was in the audience, saying we are going to take your son away from you. You all have failed as a nephew, a father, and a mother. But Matt pretty much, or Jeff pretty much said it will be decay, it will be obsolete, as they were this good versus evil, light versus dark, because the battlefield of Bound for Glory, it will be the Great War. And Abyss pretty much said to Decay, they thrive through war, and they're going to hell. And there will be a war Bound for Glory, as they all fought each other in the ring and did twist the fates on Decay, taking them out. I don't know what the Great War is going to be with, but hey, I'll say one thing with the Impact Zone crowd. They chant obsolete and delete like it's crazy. Hell, they've already chanted WWE at SummerSlam with delete, delete, delete. So you know it's super over right now. I don't know what the Great War is going to be. I can't even imagine how the Great War is going to be at Bound for Glory. But I don't know if it should be a wrestling match, though, at Bound for Glory. I think we need to save up and wait till a Final Deletion 3, and then we will take the titles away from them. I don't know how it's going to work, but it will happen if they are going to delete it. But the Great War is coming, so watch out, people. Mike Bennett came up to Bobby Lashley, and Bennett was pretty much sucking up to Lashley, saying that, he said that, he pretty much told Lashley that Moose called him a coward and everything. JB called out the Knockouts Gauntlet match, which I don't know how many Gauntlet matches we're going to keep having, which Allie was replaced by Laurel Van Ness. She was, I believe, Chelsea Green on Tough Enough, and actually liked wrestling, and she was, I think, if I remember, she was Daniel Bryan's, supposed to be personal trainer. They tried to do that Claire Lynch thing like they did in TNA and tried to do the Daniel Bryan man. So that's who that girl was, which they said she wasn't really good, which I don't know, I don't know how long she's been wrestling, but I heard she wasn't that good. It's cool they gotta need more knockouts in TNA, but as this knockouts Gauntlet, I guess they have more women than usual. And when it came down to Gail Kim and Sienna in this Gauntlet, Gail Kim got the beat defeat dodge and a silencer, winning the match. But I saw the match and it was just like, and I don't know, they gotta stop doing these gauntlet matches. I don't know, the knockouts division sometimes is just, they just put all the women in one segment, which doesn't make sense, because this whole Jade and Marty Bell continues to go, but they don't never focus on it that much. Eddie Edwards went against Mahabali Shera, which Eddie did his best to try to get this crowd going, but Eddie Edwards did win the match with the, pretty much with a half crab, making Shera tap out and moving on to this tournament. But we got to the end with Moose. Moose came out. Lashley came out. He says, you know, you gotta do this fight right now. You can make a Bound for Glory. That's a box office move. Yeah, let's do that. You can make a lot of money for it. Because Lashley pretty much said he could fight anybody and he'll take him out. He'll make anybody famous like EC3. He said he was going to fight Moose, but he wasn't going to do it because that would affect Moose's health. But Lashley said Moose is a smart man, and we can wait till Bound for Glory. But Moose said, why don't we fight right now? As they brawled with each other, Mike Bennett came in the ring and started attacking Moose. They kept beating him up until EC3 came out. But as soon as EC3 came out and pretty much did a double clothesline on him, the show pretty much ended after that, which didn't make a lot of sense. Wasn't really that good of an episode last week, other than the Hardys and Lashley on the mic. But EC3 coming out and then the show just abruptly ended was just kind of like lost in a shuffle right there. Just like, it just happened. You didn't get to see a lot out of it. It just was like, hey, there you go. And it was over. It wasn't that good of a show this week, but the Hardys, like I said, the Hardys continue to be as great as usual. And Bobby Lashley on the mic. So I really am looking forward to Bound for Glory. I hope we get some better matches also this year. The card doesn't look like it has a lot right now other than the main event and the Hardys versus the Decay, but we shall see what happens next. Now, as for other TNA news, which I've heard today about Billy Corgan trying to buy TNA, pretty much buy the whole company, because I think the people that are the owners right now, that have majority, is the Arlex company, Dixie Carter, which is one of the majority owners, and Billy Corgan himself. But here's the thing, WWE and Ring of Honor trying to take their tape library, and TNA would be stupid enough to get their own tape library with WWE. If that happens, I don't care how much money they want to give you. I don't think that's a good idea. As for Billy Corgan trying to buy TNA, listen, I don't have Billy Corgan as a president. Yes, he can handle day-to-day operations. Billy Corgan does know he's doing wrestling. I've said this before. He had a wrestling promotion in Chicago. I've seen it. He did really great over there. I know a lot of people may not know about it. You can look it up, but he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing in wrestling. He can't keep Dixie in the day-to-day operations, okay? But hey, the booking, whatever, the writing team there, they've been better lately because they actually put on some great shows with TNA lately, episodes, and they've been doing really good. But some people I think that need to be fired is John Garbrick. He needs to go. We need to get rid of that guy. But I hope that TNA will be idiots. I think they just want TNA's library because they know they don't have any other footage of AJ Styles or Sting. Like they say with Sting before, Sting, WCW went out of business. What's Sting been doing? Hiding under a rock for 10 years, over 10 years, even though he was in TNA. AJ Styles, he wrestled in Japan and I guess before Ring of Honor, but what has he been doing for the past 10 years in TNA or any other type of wrestler? Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, what have they been doing? They've been over there the whole time before they came to WWE. Okay? Samoa Joe, that's another one. So, TNA would be stupid if they would give up their own library. Like, I don't know how much money WWE's offering them, but they'll give up your fucking library, videotapes, and everything. You won't even have anything put on your YouTube page no more if you give in to them. And like I said, TNA's actually been on better lately. It hasn't been bad like it was before. It's actually been on the come up. And the show's actually gotten better. Maybe, Billy Corgan as president is a great idea, and I think he's doing really well. As for him trying to buy the entire company, I don't know about that. I'm a little bit sketchy on that, really. He could be the president. I don't mind that. But actually owning the company, if he can turn TNA around and make it great again like it really used to be, which I know people say TNA's great right now, but listen, TNA hasn't been the same since a lot of guys left and since Hogan and Bischoff came in there. But actually, it's been back on the come up lately, and a lot of people have loved it, and I'm sure people are watching now because of the Hardys right now, of how great they're doing. But that's just some things I kind of want to state on that, really, with the situation I've heard from that today. And we're not a good episode of Impact, but that's all I got to say with the review and the whole rumor I heard today about TNA. But I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace.